Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Bashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth and who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Kotas Upsayan from the GMS Holland branch, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai with another lesson, with another video. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. In this lesson, I want to go into 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20 on down, because I was reading it and yeah, man, the Spirit hit me, to just make a lesson about it. So this is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20, and it reads, it's entitled The Order of Resurrection. Verse 20, but now is Yahushua risen from the dead and became the first fruits of them that slept. And what does it mean to sleep? To sleep means to be dead, Verse 21, for since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. Why? Because, okay, now I'm going to go in deep, because since by man came death, so man followed Eve, which that man that received the truth, that was Yahushai in the reincarnation. He was the first Adam. He was the first one that had these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. He became a living soul, like it says in the book of Genesis, when the Most High breathed his spirit within him. You see, so that's Yahushai. And through him following his wife, which is Eve, death came in the world. Sin came into the world, and then death came into the world. Let's go to 1 Timothy 2, verse 14. And it reads, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. You see, so she was the first one to be deceived, Eve. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 11, verse 3. And it reads, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahushai. You see? So it was the serpent that beguiled Eve, Just like how it says in the book of Genesis, the serpent is the most subtle of all creatures. And that serpent wasn't a real serpent. That serpent was a serpent like man, that was real subtle in his ways to explain these things to Eve. Because what do you say about somebody that you don't trust? He's a snake. Don't deal with him, That man is a snake. He's going to bite you, You can't trust him. So that's how the scriptures explain the serpent-like being, the serpent-like man, that beguiled Eve, which was the wife of the first Adam. God. So going back, 1 Corinthians 15, verse 21, for since by man came death, but by man came also the resurrection of the dead. Verse 22, for as in Adam all die, even so in Yahushai shall all be made alive. How? Let's go to Luke 13. Verse 32, and it reads, and he said unto them, go ye and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, and I do curse today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected. You see, so after 3 days, Yahushai is going to be perfected. You see? And we are living in the third day right now, you know? After 3 days and a half, they would stand upon their feet, like it says in the book of Revelation. You see? So are we shall be perfected when Yahushua is gonna appear, you know. We are going towards that third day right now. We're almost there. When Yahushua is gonna appear, that's when the third day is gonna be complete. You see? We're in the dawn of that third day. That's when Yahushua is gonna be perfect. When he's gonna come here upon earth and subdue everything under his feet. You see? Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews 2, verse 10, and it reads, For it became him for whom for it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering. You see? So we are also going to be made perfect. How? Through suffering. Because Yahushua, he suffered also. You know, he conquered death. He conquered death by not committing sin while he was here upon earth. You see? So he was the first Adam that introduced sin into the world, but he was also the Adam that conquered and subdued and put death to shame, actually, because he overcame sin when he was here upon earth. You see? And we are doing our best to suffer through it. So in the end, when Yahushua is going to be made perfect, we are also going to be made perfect. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 45, and it reads, And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul, the last Adam was made a quickening spirit, which is the same person. The first Adam was Yahushua. He was made a living soul through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua being breathed into him. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. God, because he is now working toward in his men, the spirit of Yahushua, which is the spirit of prophecy. You see? If you believe in Yahushua, you are not gonna go amiss. You are gonna enter into the kingdom of heaven, if you endure until the end. See? So going back, this is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in Yahushua shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, Yahushua the first fruits, after they that are Yahushua's at his coming. You see, the elect, the 1/3, when Yahushua is going to come, they are going to receive salvation, and they are going to be changed also. You see? Everything is in a certain pattern, in a certain order. You're not going to come before the men that have been doing this for 30 years. You're not going to come before them that died in Yahushua, that died in this truth. You see? Verse 24, Then cometh the end, and he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he had put down all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign till he had put all enemies under his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. See? But he had put all things under his feet. But when he said all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is expected which did put all things under him. And when all things shall be subdued under him, unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that the Most High may be all in all. Gone, because Yahushua got everything through his Father Yahweh. You see? So when Yahushua is going to subdue everything, all the dominions and order all the principles and everything, he's going to give it to his Father. You see? And that's in the book of Colossians. Bear with me for a second. Yeah. This is Colossians 1, verse 13. Who had delivered us from the power of darkness and had translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. You see? So everything was made by him and for him, for Yahushua to rule over, So when this day comes, everybody is going to be made subject unto Yahushua. You see, now everybody's living their life the way they want, but there's going to come a time where all this is going to stop and they are going to reference Yahushua. You see? So yeah, man. I hope this video is edifying, and I want to say Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rekah Kodash, Shalom Akim.